Hey guys, what's up? It's Popular Straw here in a very unorthodox style of video where you don't typically see me. I've never done one of these videos before. As you can see, this is definitely a first time doing a kind of video like this, as I am unprofessional with horrible lighting. The mic is just I'm just holding it right here. And I'm just kind of like winging this right now because I really wanted to talk about this and I didn't even care how shitty it might look. But you know what? This is kind of an interesting thing here. And what I want to talk about is Lil Xan canceling his tour. There we go. So Lil Xan had reportedly canceled his Born Dead tour without any notice. This happened this past weekend after I believe that there was a performance in Texas, the So What Music Festival, that he was supposed to appear at but did not, and he didn't give any notice at all, and just canceled the whole tour. It's pretty fucked up. And on this tour, there was actually, here, let me actually show you a post from one of the opening bands, Dropout Kings, who, if you haven't heard of them, definitely check them out. They're a very solid rap rock outfit with metal influences. But basically, as you can see here, I know it's kind of shitty and small. It's just kind of like, I wanted to kind of like prove a point here with something, which I'm going to get to in a moment here, but this is basically like the tour poster and everything. Lil Xan with Dropout Kings, Vizard King, I don't know that one, and Rosh Dog and Saving Vice. And basically this was announced on April 4th. This was kind of like the point I want to make that I'm going to come back to later, but April 4th, this tour was announced, or at least roughly around then. At least that's when Dropout Kings announced this tour. And, it's a big opportunity for them. This is one of their, probably one of their biggest opening acts, I would say, for a well-known artist. I mean, like Lil Xan or not, he is pretty popular, and he can definitely, give exposure to artists like, Dropout Kings and Saving Vice and these other guys who I'm assuming are rappers. And it was going to be a whole big thing, and like, as you can even see, like, with shows like these, a lot of advertising for, like, event pages. If you're familiar with, like, the Facebook stuff about this, that's at least how I find out about a lot of shows. You'll always see, like, event things like this added, throughout. And, like, it took me a while to get here, and you'll see why mostly, but, like, just a lot. There's some advertising right there. If we keep going, there will probably be another one here shortly. A lot of Head PE stuff. Head PE, how about that? Remember that band? More stuff here, like, tickets go on sale and everything, I mean, I'm sure you get the point. You know what I'm getting at here. Big opportunity, though, for them. And as I stated, Lil Xan dropped the tour and everything. He hadn't made a post about it at all prior, kind of leaving the band in the dust. All the artists that were supposed to be opening in the dust and being forced to spend, possibly thousands of dollars, and for what, And it looked like almost all hope was gone. But luckily, the people who are hosting this tour ended up basically giving it a whole new thing for Dropout Kings and having them be the headliner on the short run of shows with basically the exact same lineup, with the exception of Jupiter's Tirade, who had been added, which, that's awesome. That is fucking incredible. There's not a lot of moments like that happen typically. And there's also been a lot of things with the metal and rock community where, like, Ronnie Radke, I guess, like, donated them Dropout Kings, like, money for gas and everything. They got some big shout outs from Telly from The Word Alive. I believe a member from Fit for a King even, like, made some comments about this and kind of like pushed Dropout Kings, giving them some support. And it's just like baffling then to see Lil Xan post something like this here today, that is being May 31st. So there's like this thing that, like, he screenshotted. I don't know who this is from. Obviously it seems like it's bashing, well, Well, it's right here. Like, I dropped off the tour because your management and booking agents were taking advantage of me. Excuse me. Your team dropped the ball. Your team did not have any accommodations or travel or anything a tour should. You just wanted to promote your homies under my name, and we tried to work it out. But your team is obviously new at this. If you guys were smart, you wouldn't do burn bridges like that and act like you guys had the tour even planned right, but have fun on your fuck Lil Xan tour. Okay, so that's Lil Xan at Dropout Kings, I believe. Hold on, quick little but like, so that was like a kind of like a jab at Dropout Kings, and then he proceeds to post in the actual caption here. Shout out Dropout Kings. Have a great fuck Lil Xan tour, which I don't think I made that clear yet. That's what they have nicknamed the tour, the Born Dead tour. It's not really on the flyer or anything like that, probably for, professional reasons, but they have called it the fuck Lil Xan tour, which, clever name. I know you guys are new to this, and I'm pretty sure you should talk with your booking agent, Ashley, on how bad she fucked the tour up for me and my team. But have fun on the tour, fellas. My next tour is for my fans only, not yours. Want to give them better openers and more Xanarchy. On top of that, I just got out of rehab 2 to 3 months ago and want to stay focused on my sobriety, and a tour might damage that. But no, y'all team didn't care as long as they made their money. So and another thing too, like, I just want to point, like, all this, like, fucking, body fucking Instagram shit that you'll see too, where it's just like, congrats on your sobriety, proud of you, stay away from the negativity. W, man, focus on your health. Like, oh no, this is not a dub for Xan at all, and let me tell you why. He ruined, well, he didn't ruin, he potentially ruined any chance of either of these bands getting their name out there, and or just some earnings, for touring. Like, this is a lot of people who perform, like Dropout King, Saving Vice, Rash Dog, Jupiter's Tirade. These are, like, smaller artists that maybe a lot of people have never even heard of. Maybe if you're watching this video, you've never even heard of them. And I feel like Lil Xan has, like, to a degree, people are knowledgeable about Lil Xan, whether you like him or hate him. And with Dropout Kings, you'd be like, who? So with that, there's, like, so many of these people on here that could have been completely fucked over financially, possibly could have even ruined some sort of music career. Because sometimes when this shit happens, this is it for a band, especially if they're not blown up as big as they would want to. And then you start seeing them less and less, and sure enough, they're either back playing local bars or they're done entirely, and it happens, and it sucks, but what I don't understand with Lil Xan here is that he didn't address this, first of all, right away, he did not say anything at all the day that he didn't show up to So What Festival. I believe he performed a show in Florida, at least, like, not too long ago. I'm pretty sure it's actually on, like, that Thursday or something like that, before the actual tour started. And then, yeah, that was it. Didn't even say a word. So, like, him playing victim here is, already kind of sketch and everything. And the one big part I want to point out here is the whole 2 to 3 months sober part here, which I find pretty interesting, because you say that you're 2 to 3 months out of rehab. I shouldn't say sober. Well, I mean, I guess he is sober. Yeah, I was focused on sobriety. He's been out of rehab for 2 to 3 months. Okay, put it that way. You've been sober since then, I'm assuming. I don't think you go into rehab and not be sober. But, people do sneak around that, I'm sure. It is a thing. It's very fucked up. I get it. At the same time, though, let's say hypothetically that 2 to 3 months ago, he has been sober for that long. The tour as I mentioned, and I will go back to it now because I did want to make this as a clear of a point as possible, was announced, like I said, on April 4th. As you can see here, April 4th, the show was announced, which has been roughly 2 months ago. As you can see, he's been out of rehab for 2 to 3 months, you know? And, your timeline doesn't have to be exact here, you know? Like, I get it, and everything, but if you're gonna say that you want to stay focused on your sobriety and touring would damage that, why would you announce a tour? You know what I mean? Like, there was no reason that you should have announced any sort of tour if you wanted to... If you feel like you're going to not be sober while on tour, then you don't tour. You don't even announce a tour. You know what I mean? Like, you can make music. I know he has an album coming out in September, I saw, Diego, which is fine. That's something you do when you want to stay sober, especially if you want to write about it. I don't think he's going to be writing a lot about it, but you never know. I don't really listen to his music much. I don't know. But you don't announce a tour if you want to stay focused. Like, that was fuck up number one from the very beginning. Like, in retrospect, you already messed up, you know? And then to come out here and then, like, blame all these people and everything, blaming Dropout Kings and the booking agent Ashley, whoever she is, and, like, all that, not everyone else on the tour. But it's like, you're the one at fault here. You didn't announce it. You're the one who made a tour when you wanted to stay sober, and you're probably also mad because you probably didn't sell as many tickets as you were expecting. You know? It probably also comes down to that being a big factor as to why this tour got canceled. Which is kind of shit, even, too. Not even kinda, it is shit. Like, it's like, even if you don't sell that many tickets, like, let's be fair here, let's be honest. You see, since we're talking about, like, hip-hop and rock, new metal, let's talk about, like, Head PE, or the band Flaw, or any other C to D grade level new metal bands, who, as a matter of fact, have announced a pretty big new metal tour, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be, like, a whole, like, new metal revival, kind of shit, which is, like, okay, people aren't all gonna go to that, The diehards will, of course, be there, and, like, the people who have got nothing else going on the weekend or the weekday are gonna go if they have the money and everything. Because I'm pretty sure these shows aren't that expensive. I wouldn't go, really, especially not anymore. But, I'm familiar with this kind of stuff, Especially, like, guilty on this one. I have seen Trapped before. Yikes. And I can tell you right now that those tickets were, like, I think under $20, maybe around $20 even, which makes sense, but it's like, it's Trapped, I get it. But, they know, my point of mentioning these tours, or tour rather, is that they know that it's not going to sell out. Even if they go to some small, shitty little bar, they know it's not going to sell out because both their music in particular is dead, and even the genre, you could say, is somewhat dead too. Not including the bands that are influenced by new metal. I'm talking strictly new metal bands. But they don't cancel their tours, is what I'm saying, because they know that it's not going to sell out. They play them anyway, and, they have a good time doing it. Maybe they get a little rowdy. Maybe you're the guy from Flaw who accidentally drops an N-bomb. Maybe you're the guy in Head PE who does not eat pussy, and that is fact. But, they do it. They're having fun. They're doing their thing. Lil Xan is greedy as fuck, and it's kind of apparent, Another thing I wanted to, like, focus on, too, is, like, a part of his story here, when he actually first mentions this and all, There's a point here, actually, not this one, I believe it was the next one here, about this, where it basically was saying that, Diego didn't throw me under the bus, on this tour. What was it here? What was it say? Can I zoom in? Yeah, there you go. Diego didn't throw me under the bus, but a lot of this tour being canceled is my fault. I kept his wallet and his passport in my car, and it got broken into and stolen, so he can't get on a plane or venues that 21 plus anyway, or go to the bank to deposit the money because he doesn't have an ID or his cards or anything. It literally got broken into a day before he was supposed to leave. So I appreciate him not blaming me, but yeah, a lot of that's my fault. I don't know who this is exactly that posted this. I can only assume it's a guy who is a part of Xan's touring party. See, I don't know. There's also very minimal context here. For one thing, the whole passport thing. Like, actually, I'm gonna look this up midway. Like, where's Lil Xan from? I thought he was from. Okay. So he is from Mexico. Well. He's from Cali, but he's Mexican American. I actually didn't know that, but it kind of does make sense. I mean, like I said, I don't pay attention to anything he does. I don't care to, so pardon my, ignorance to the subject here. But I don't understand why the passport would matter. Like, because he said, I kept his wallet and his passport in my car, and it got broken into and stolen. And I guess unless he was down in Mexico or even Cuba, I would say too, just because the reason I'm saying that is because he did have that show in Florida, like I said, and that's the closest, offshore location that I can think of where you would possibly need a passport and everything. But I'm like, well, why would that matter, And like, I don't know, like the whole thing is just very weird, and like this part even too just threw me off about the whole, like, he just coincidentally had his wallet and passport with him. First of all, like, yeah, okay, that is if this is all true here, if all of that is true, that is an unreliable friend. And even tour guy. And what's funny is, like, even in this part here where he said, plus this happened a day before tour on top of everything. Still not blaming anyone that this shit happens, but there were just so many bad things around this tour. Give me 3 months and I'll be back on the road again. I just don't get it, Like, it's just very fucky. Like, on his part entirely. Like, no matter what way you look at it, it's like, you cannot say that he's not in the wrong, because it's almost like excuses on top of excuses. Like, why would you have this here posted as well, all this part, and then at the same time have the part where you're bashing the band and everything like that too, and then once again coming up with, like, more excuses with the whole rehab thing. It's just shitty too. And also, I don't follow him on Instagram, but I also didn't see a single thing about his tour posted on here. And my thought was that he deleted it, but I don't know. If he deleted that shit, though, that is just fucking scummy, because it's making it seem like, oh no, that tour never happened. But obviously, if you go to Dropout Kings' page, you will see that it is there. You will see that there is a tour that was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Obviously, this is just kind of me rambling at this point. With the facts and everything that we have and all that, take it as you will. You know what I mean? My thoughts... like, entirely my thoughts, I should say, like, my final overall opinion, it's shit, it does happen, yes, I will give Xan that, it does happen, this kind of shit, but the way everything was handled was just pretty fucked up, and I guess at the end of the day, I'm glad that, like, the boys are getting, like, a second chance here, if you will, and if you got the time, if they're coming to a town near you, definitely go see them on tour. I can confirm Dropout Kings kick ass live, and I'm sure everybody else opening does kick ass as well. So definitely give them a listen. Definitely check them out on tour as well. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it with that one. Thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me ramble. getting this out there. Wow, roughly 20 minutes. It's pretty nutty. I got that long in there, but it'll probably be cut down even a little bit too. But yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, subscribe. Maybe I'll do another one of these. I can even talk about other music topics. We can avoid Fortnite. That would honestly be kind of cool and kind of a dream, and maybe have a better setup and everything as well. Not sponsored by Fiji, but it's there. And once again, too, sorry about the whole setup and like last minute kind of like thing that I did here, but I just wanted to talk about this, get it out there. And if you want to talk about it some more, leave it in the comments, have a debate. Why not? If you can, do it. Who's stopping you? All right. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Mwah.